Hello, my name is Shitiz Srivastava and this is my podcast. So today I want to talk about the excuses. A lot of people make excuses. I have been making excuses all my life for not doing something. The problem with excuses is that everyone faces the same problem each and every day. They keep making excuses for not doing something. The deep down, everyone knows what is right. Everyone knows what if they do to become successful. Everyone wants to become successful and everyone wants to become rich, and that is one truth of life. I haven't found anyone in my life. There are people who have less ambitions, some people have more ambitions, but I haven't found anyone in my life who says that he does not have the desires to become rich and successful, and people are running after him and he becomes famous and people are desiring to be him. So everyone wants to become famous, let's stick to that. Everyone wants to become rich, now let's lay that foundation that everyone wants that. But the problem is that most of the people don't achieve it, and there's one reason behind it. And the reason is that most of the people most of the time keep making excuses, and the more you keep making excuses, the more unsuccessful you get. And the problem is that human mind is very powerful, and it creates reasons for you not doing anything. Like if you want to get up in the morning and you want to go and do the exercise, but you can't do it because your mind says, why not just sleep for 10 more minutes, why not just sleep for half an hour, okay, I will do it from tomorrow. And that is one procrastination, that is one excuse in the form of procrastination that often comes into your mind, that you keep on putting things on the future, that you want to start something on the perfect time. And that is why all the motivational speakers, if you listen to all the motivational speakers, if you read all the motivational books, they will always tell you this one basic thing, that if you want to do something, you have to start it now. Because you cannot just keep on planning something. If you want to do something, you have to stop somewhere. You cannot just keep on gaining the knowledge, you cannot just keep on making the plans to do something. Execution is one of the most important part of doing something. But most of the time when people are thinking of doing something, they actually rely too much on the planning and the knowledge part. They keep grasping the knowledge, which is to an extent good thing. I am not saying that you should not plan about the things, right? I'm not saying that you should not gain the knowledge. I'm saying that there has to be some limit to it. There has to be some point, some deadline that you have put to yourself, over which you say that I'm going to do this, whether I'm prepared or not, whether I'm ready to do it or not. And our minds, they keep on making excuses for everything. Like if you want to approach a girl, your mind will make exaggerated excuses, like there will be millions of reasons why you should not approach the girl. One of the basic reasons why you should not approach that particular woman is that you will be embarrassed. She is going to embarrass you in front of everyone. But the truth is that is never going to happen. And the thing is, most of the excuses are just hypothetical ones. They do not even exist. They do not even, they are something like our minds. When I say our minds are very powerful, what I mean is that our mind tries to save ourselves from the labor. Our mind tries to save ourselves from the hard labor. So if you are going to hit the gym and if you're going to lift those heavy weights, your mind is going to ask you not to do them. And that is where you have to conquer your mind and tell him that you want to do it. Your mind is programmed to save you from all the pains that you're going to get in your life. And that is why you have to get over your mind and do the things despite your mind telling them not to do it. Because deep down there is some voice. I don't know how I can justify it or how scientifically I can explain it, but I know that deep down there is some voice that tells you that what is right for you. Like I know how to get successful. Deep down I know, I can tell you that, and I have a list of things that if I do them, I know that I'm going to get successful. There is no question that I'm not going to be successful. It might meet a lot of failures in between, but I know what kind of failures I'm going to get and what are the necessary failures that I have to go through them to get successful. But deep down I know it, but still I won't do it. And it is only because of the excuses that I keep on making. And it is not just me. Everyone that you know in your life is going to keep on making the same excuses again and again, just so that they don't get to do the things that they really have to do. That's why it is very important that you set the goals and you set the deadlines. Because once you set the deadline, then you have to do it. You have to fool your mind at times. Our minds are easy to be fooled because there are parts of our mind like conscious mind, subconscious mind, which has been elaborately talked about all the people who understands mind, who are trying to motivate you or inspire you, they will constantly talk about this subconscious thing. Like recently I wanted to do the exercise, I wanted to develop six-pack abs, and it was very difficult for me to develop six-pack abs because there has been numerous times I have paid numerous amounts of money to so many gyms just so that I can go to gym and make a good body, but I just couldn't do it. And why I couldn't do it, I can tell you why I couldn't do it is because I never had the goal in my mind. I never had the visualization in my mind about why I wanted to do it. And that is why after 10 to 15 days, I will keep on making excuses that it is giving pain to my body, it is making me lethargic, and because of it, I am unable to do a lot of things. That's why I'm restricting myself from doing these things. So this is what happens. Your mind keeps on telling you things that you shouldn't be doing, and you keep following your mind. And you think that your thoughts are not in your control, and that is the biggest lie that you can tell to yourself. Your minds are completely in your control, and you can change your thoughts anytime you want. You just have to control your mind. You just have to tell your mind that this is what you're going to do, and despite what it is going to tell you, you just have to stick to that thought. Because the moment you make a decision, the next moment your mind is going to tell you the alternative of it. If you want to go to jogging, your mind will tell you, why not just go tomorrow? You can see it in that way, that your mind, or maybe the God inside your mind, is trying to test you whether you are really serious about doing something or not. So if you are really serious about it, you will say, no, I have decided that I am going to go for the jogging today, so I am going to go. And this is what happens. When you decide something, you just do it. And one of the biggest problems that I face is that my mind keeps thinking about the things that actually distract me from doing the things that I really wanted to do. So in order to control my mind, I try to write the things that I really wanted to do in the time that I really want them to happen. I think that putting the deadlines and putting the dates in or the time in front of your goals is the most important thing that one can do, because I think that once you put the time, once you put the date, once you put that deadline goal in front of your desires that you want to accomplish, I think that at that moment you can get over the excuse point, because at that moment you have decided that you're going to do that. And human mind is worked to take orders from people, and that is why so many organizations, there are so many people working under one guy who gives them the order and rest of the people just work. Human mind is made to take orders from someone. So sometimes there are most of the time that people do not have someone to give them order. That is why there are life coaches. But again, life coaches and these fitness coaches takes a lot of money from you, so not everyone can afford to pay them. But you can give instructions to your own mind. You can write the orders and tell them that you want to do this, and you keep on doing it. And that is how it happens, that you instruct your own mind, you become your own fucking boss. And when there's a boss, imagine this, that you're working in a corporate company and your boss asks you to submit some report which you have been procrastinating for a very long time, and he tells you that if you do not submit this report by the end of the day, he is going to fire you. What are you going to do? You have just 4 or 5 hours to complete that report. I'm saying that you're going to fucking finish it, and you'll be amazed that what kind of powers the pressure will give you, that you can complete that report which you have been procrastinating for 3-4 months in just 4 or 5 hours. You could have done that before, but again, there was no order, there was no pressure on you. So sometimes the pressure is necessary for other people to actually create a power inside your mind, in which you set a deadline. That sometimes I think when you put the deadlines, you have to have something at stake. Like if you do not have anything at stake, I think you are not going to take it very seriously. That is why bank robberies are one of the basic examples that I always cite when I'm telling you about all these things. Is that when you do a bank robbery, you try to be as precise about everything, like who is going inside the bank and who is coming outside the bank, how many security guards are there, how many exit gates are there, and how many people are working in the bank, and what are their timings, what is the lunch timing, what are the exit timings, what are the entry timings, and what is the architecture of bank. So before doing a bank robbery, every bank robber has to understand the bank, and they have to do in a very precise manner, because if you get caught robbing the bank, then the punishment that you're going to get is going to be like 20 years, which is huge, which is a huge part of your life. and you're going to suffer in those 20 years. But if you can successfully go and rob the bank, then you will become rich. You can do whatever you want. So the stakes on the both sides are very high. If you win, you're going to live a luxurious life, and if you lose, you're going to suffer 20 years in the jail, and maybe more. So the thing is, when the stakes are very high on both of the sides, then there are chances that you're going to put every effort in it to make it more successful. And sometimes people just don't have that kind of responsibility. Like I personally do not have any responsibility in my life. If I do not earn any money in my life, if I do not become successful, nothing is going to happen. It's not going to change the world. It is not going to be the end of the world, but it is going to somehow affect me. So the problem that I have created inside my mind are the problem that I have created for my own benefits. The goals that I have created inside my mind are the goals that I have created for my own benefit. And sometimes you just have to do that. Sometimes you have to create that pressure, and that pressure comes from the deadlines. The pressure comes from the goals that you have set for yourself, and that is where you stop making the excuses. And one of the basic excuses is procrastination, and you have to stop procrastinating things. If you want to do something, do it now, whether you are ready or whether you're not ready, whether you have planned or whether you have not planned. Sometimes you just have to go along to see whether the idea is working or not, and then you can plan along the way. Most of the people have this idea that if you have to plan first and then execution next. No, actually they go hand in hand. You plan and act side by side, and that is how you become successful. So this was my podcast for today. I hope you liked it, and if you liked it, do subscribe to my channel, and we'll meet soon in next podcast. Till then, ciao.